Hi, my name is Stu Bailey. I'm the co-founder and chief enterprise AI architect at ModelOp, the providers of the market's leading ModelOps software for the large enterprise. Today, I want to just give you some developments in the ModelOps space, which is a foundational capability in the enterprise AI journey for large, primarily diversified, non-digital native organizations in financial services, insurance, manufacturing, telecommunications, etc. This is an exciting time in Q3 of 2021 in terms of how the enterprise AI journey is evolving with respect to vendors that you and your organizations can acquire to strengthen your capabilities and ensure the maximum value and return and success from your enterprise AI investments. So the research that I want to introduce is from Gartner. I'm sure most of you know Gartner as a leading industry voice in how vendors organize themselves and how markets organize themselves in terms of what is needed to get the most out of investments. And in the enterprise AI space, Gartner has really been leading the effort in articulating what large organizations need and being able to start to organize the sometimes very confusing set of capabilities that various vendors like us, ModelOp, and our software, ModelOp Center, provide to large organizations. The name of this research, it's a market guide. For those of you who don't know, market guides are one of the first pieces of research that really start to outline clearly what the different vendors do and start to name different capabilities, which could eventually lead to whole categories like you might be aware of in a magic quadrant, for example. Usually first there's a research note, and there have been several in these enterprise AI emerging capabilities like ModelOps, but a market guide is a real important milestone. And this market guide, the market guide for AI trust, risk, and security, is really comprehensive on a couple of levels. You can see this pyramid. As the pyramid goes up, it's about phases. So this is a market guide that starts to explore how the vendor landscape and the capability landscape for the large enterprise will evolve over time, these different phases. But also it starts to be clear about what specific capabilities are needed and how vendors are supplying those to the large enterprise. So phase one is really the kind of key capabilities available today. And phase five is the current kind of visionary focus and maybe an opinion about how those capabilities will start to converge over time. On the right, I think, is kind of the big takeaway. In terms of trust, risk, and security management, these are all the things that are not data science or data science platforms, but rather enterprise capabilities that need to be in place to get the most out of the data science investments and to make sure that those are really driving toward the most value for enterprise AI initiatives. These are the five kind of pillars of capability outside of data science that really any large enterprises needs. And so that's explainability through data anomaly detection. And of course, the area that we focus on at ModelOp, ModelOps. You can see also that ModelOps becomes one of two core capabilities in phase two. So the five kind of collapse into two in phase two. And this may give you a sense of how to start looking at vendors and investing in capabilities, because we on the provider side obviously are growing with you on the consumer side to make sure that we're adding value over many years in this journey of enterprise AI. So this, again, is really, we've been doing this at ModelOp, serving a large enterprise, focused on enterprise AI initiatives, and specifically focused on ModelOps for the last 5 years. So we have done nothing but that. This is an important milestone for the industry in terms of some organizing principles that suggest how the vendor landscape will continue to serve the large enterprise outside of those capabilities that have been very heavily invested in and really driving the need for this, which is data science and data science platforms. So, that's really one of the most important when we talk about model ops. And I think there are several other capabilities that are critical there. But what we found is model ops is kind of the missing puzzle piece, if you will, between data science on one hand and the rest of the enterprise capabilities like risk or IT, all of the enterprise capabilities that need to be made model aware and really prepared to take any types of assets, really models from the various different data science initiatives and platforms serving different business units and make them enterprise assets with full visibility and the ability to support them in their full life cycle. And importantly, give them the visibility that even the board needs as a way to understand very concretely and with concrete metrics how the data science investments are contributing to the overall enterprise AI journey. So, this is a great definition, if you will, of model ops that is in this market guide. Model operationalization is primarily focused on the end-to-end governance and lifecycle management of all analytics. So, everything from knowledge graphs to machine learning to, agents and others. So what we're talking about is end-to-end lifecycle management. There are so many other components that a given model has to interact with, though a model ops capability should be able to envelop those components and ensure that there's an evergreen visibility into where all the models are, what's happening with them, and that their complicated journey through the enterprise, including risk and business, can be fully automated. So I think it's an important milestone for the industry that such a concise and concrete definition about what model ops is coming out of one of the leading analyst community, being driven by market need. Many of you might know Gartner published research in 2020 that said that as much as 50% of all data science initiatives don't make it from the business units where they're being conducted into the enterprise production matrix. They've been calling it the AI gap for a while. This research, the AI trust, risk, information security management research, really is about filling that gap, closing that gap, and model ops is obviously a key capability. So just to give you a sense about what a vendor like ModelOp will give a large organization, let's focus on our software platform, ModelOp Center. On the left are the data science functions. So built-in integrations with a ModelOps platform like ModelOp Center has to take assets that are the critical assets, the models, from any number of data science and data science platforms. And those assets will have interactions in their life cycle with any number of business processes and technical systems. So everything from approval and workflow systems that ensure that models go through the right regulatory or compliance needs, all the way down to all the complicated software delivery processes, all of that has to be orchestrated and importantly, recorded so that it can be fully auditable. So you have a push of a button, reportability and visibility to the board level and upper management, as well as operational visibility on both the business and the technical side to ensure if there's anything that is happening to a model that would require immediate attention, that will not only get flagged, but hopefully automated even in the remediation response. if some models may be very tolerant, like say, for example, you know, you might have a supply chain decisioning model. It might be tolerant to some issues because it really runs on a weekly basis. Other ones may be involved in immediate transactions, and if something's going wrong, it has to be pulled immediately and something else has to be put into its place. So literally everything that happens to a model should be well articulated and fully discoverable once it's actually been complete. And a ModelOps capability gives you that. So in the end, you know, ModelOps and ModelOps Center, our software, really drives these 4 values. You know, full freedom on the data science side, any kind of data science platform, and in our experience in the large enterprise, largely financial services, insurance, manufacturing, all of our customers and everyone we're engaged with has at least 4 data science platforms active today. And all of our market feedback says from our customers that's only going to expand. So full freedom to use whatever data science platform is needed, but enterprise patterns to monitor and automate models no matter where they came from. And in the Q3 of 2021, you know, ModelOps Center is a very mature, industrial strength, large enterprise software that has very low risk of implementing. It's very hyper modern and has is easy to implement right away. This is not like the old school, oh, it's going to take 6 months and 12 months and an army of people to implement. So very modern software, but very mature and industrial strength with respect to the automation. So in the end, you know, I encourage you to read through the AI Trust Risk Information Security Management research, learn about the different capabilities, including ModelOps, that are required on your enterprise AI journey. All of those capabilities are separate and distinct from data science and data science platforms, but really focused on what's needed at the enterprise operational level. But from a ModelOps perspective, a ModelOps platform like ModelOps Center, any one that you choose should be able to answer these simple questions about models. And these questions should be answerable to, you know, board level visibility all the way down to operational responsibility. What models are in production? How are they performing with respect to various metrics, business, technical, data science, or otherwise? Have they had all the appropriate risk and governance needed? And is all of the journeys of every model auditable so that that full governance, all the provenance and lineage of models through their complex interaction with the enterprise is just one click of a button away. I hope this was informative for you, learning about what this exciting developments in enterprise AI and how the rest of the enterprise services that are not data science and data science platforms are starting to organize and increase their capabilities to make sure that these enterprise AI initiatives get the maximum value at the minimum time. Thanks so much.